Today we're going to be once again talking about Death Stranding, and what I wanted to do is take a little bit of time here to go over the Metacritic score predictions. Something interesting that happened here recently is I did a poll on my channel about 6 days ago, and I gave it that much time because I wanted to not only give it enough time to really garner a lot of votes, which it actually ended up getting 14,000 total votes, which is pretty insane. I honestly can't believe how many votes some of these polls I put out get. And so I thought, honestly, this was probably worth making a video on and going over here because it's clear that a lot of people are interacting with this, and I wanted to just relay the results to you as well as maybe go over some of the top comments that people have left on this poll giving their thoughts about Death Stranding and the reviews that are going to be coming out. And so we're going to be doing that in this video, and I think now is an appropriate time to do this because we know that the review embargo for Death Stranding is lifting on November 1st, which is happening very, very soon, and there's no denying that it's going to be a big deal. I mean, I know there's a lot of people who don't care about reviews, and I'm not the type of individual that lets review scores ultimately determine whether or not I'm ultimately going to play a game or pass on it. For me, it's more of if I'm interested in it, if I think it has potential, if I think it looks good, I'm going to play it no matter what. So in regards to Death Stranding, similar to how I felt about Days Gone, it's not going to matter to me at the end of the day what people have to say in terms of review scores or Metacritic scores or what professional reviewers have to say, but it is interesting to me, and I think it's going to be somewhat of a big deal. I don't think really anybody can deny the influence and that review scores have over the overall perception of a game. I mean, the truth is, no matter how good a game is, if it gets really bad reviews, it's going to bring that game down to a certain level, whether we like that or not. I mean, Days Gone, in my opinion, is the best example of a game where if you look at how the user responded, the user score of that game, people are very up on it. There's a lot of people who think that it's an underrated game compared to the professional review scores it got, but there's no denying that people are always going to hold on to that Metacritic score. But the same goes for games that do really well, right? Like looking at your God of Wars, your Spider-Mans, your Horizon Zero Dawns, these types of games that just, they did so well in every area. It's nice to be able to celebrate a game getting really good review scores and getting a high Metacritic score. But anyway, we're going to be going over this poll here, and I asked the question, Death Stranding Metacritic score prediction, and I gave 4 options. There was between 90 and 99, 80 and 89, 70 and 79, and 60 and 69. And it got, again, a total of 14,000 votes here, and a lot of you left comments. It has over 200 comments, but it seems that the majority of people who voted for this poll believe that the game is going to land with a Metacritic score between 90 and 99. And in second place, we have a lot of people, about 34% of people, believing that it's going to land somewhere between 80 and 89. It's worth noting that 56% of people believed it's going to be between 90 and 99 when it's all said and done, which is a lot. I mean, that's over half the people, that's over 7,000 people who voted on this that believe it's going to land with a Metacritic score of 90 or higher. Only 5% of people believe it's going to be anywhere between 70 and 79, and only 4% of people who voted believe it's going to be in the 60s. So as you can tell here, expectations are pretty high when it comes to how people are expecting this game to review. Now, there's no denying that, you know, things are a little bit biased here on the channel. We talk about PlayStation a lot and their games, and a lot of you are very pro PlayStation, so it's understandable that a lot of people are going to vote between 90 and 99 because even though that, you know, regardless of whether or not that's what we really believe that's what it's going to end up being, that's what most of us want to see it end up being. And my prediction, you guys know this, I went on record saying that I think the game is going to get a 93. I think it's going to land exactly on 93 when it comes to its Metacritic score, and it's going to be very impressive. I just have this feeling with Death Stranding that the people who are reviewing it right now, by the time they complete it, they're just like, holy, this game is just something crazy. Like, I think one of the reasons why Sony is giving reviewers so much time to review it is because it's a type of game you really got to take a little bit of time to process your thoughts. At least that's what I'm assuming, right? I think it's safe to say that after everything we've seen. But some of the top comments we got here on this poll is comes from K Parks. They said, who cares what the score is? These are the same morons giving Madden 20 and 2K a 9 out of 10. And, I can totally back up that statement. I mean, this is where, when it comes to the idea of review scores, we see that these annualized sports games, they end up getting these high reviews and this high praise year in and year out, when we all know that it really doesn't deserve that, especially these games that are just either launching with major issues or just these terrible monetization schemes. And, what I said in response to that is that I want to believe that when it comes to these professional gaming outlets, these review outlets, I want to believe that the people they're getting to review Death Stranding are not the same individuals that they're getting to review the yearly sports titles. So hopefully that's what happens. The second top comment here is 9 out of 10 IGN, too many babies. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what IGN has to say about this game. I mean, a lot of people get on IGN's case saying that they're like pro PlayStation, but I don't know. I've had my issues with them in the past. I really didn't agree with their review of Days Gone. I think that the individual they had review that game, I really hope is not the same individual reviewing this game, because it's clear that they have certain biases, they have certain opinions on things that they let affect how they perceive their game reviews and whatnot. So I'm just hoping. Well, we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening with IGN with this game. Another person, Dead Boy Gaming, says, I think it will win Game of the Year. And you know what? I think so too. I mean, this hasn't been the strongest year when it comes to games that you could see like being Game of the Year contenders, but I think Death Stranding will easily be a contender. I don't necessarily know if it could easily win Game of the Year, but I do think it will stand a chance for sure, and it wouldn't surprise me if they ended up winning Game of the Year. Somebody else says here that they believe, and this is one of the most upvoted comments, it's going to be between an 85 and an 89, and I could see that as well. The important thing with this poll here is that I'm well aware that there's a really good chance it's not going to get a 93 on Metacritic. And if it gets below a 90, I'm not going to freak out about it. I mean, the only time I would be upset, honestly, is if it seems to get lower than a 70 or something. Because, again, this is one of those situations where I've already decided I'm going to be playing Death Stranding. I'm going to be picking it up. I'm going to be giving it a chance no matter what. No matter what anybody else has to say. But if people come out here and they have really good things to say about it, it's just going to get me all the more excited. But I could see it landing somewhere in the high 80s. I think that is just as likely as it hitting in the 90s, honestly. Somebody else said, I predict a masterpiece. Solidus STE says, I predict a masterpiece. And you know what? I think it's okay to predict that, because I think there's a very good chance that Death Stranding is going to be a masterpiece. Somebody else says here, I would say somewhere between 70 and 85. It seems like a good game, but not something that will blow people's minds. I'm hoping I'm wrong, though. I think you are going to be wrong, if I'm being honest. I think it's okay I think that's a safe bet to say, it could be anywhere between 70 and 85. But I have a feeling that, based off of what I know from Kojima and his storytelling, this game is going to blow minds. I don't necessarily know if that applies towards the gameplay itself. I mean, maybe the gameplay will be different. I don't necessarily know if that would qualify as mind-blowing. That's one of those things where we're going to have to experience it for ourselves and see what the reviewers have to say. But I think when it comes to the story, at the very least, there's going to be some mind-blowing things that happen. I think that's a safe bet. No Sleep says, people wondering how this game will do so well because they've seen it's a package delivery, haven't paid attention or bothered to research any further. Don't play, we'll enjoy this enough without you. And I understand what you're saying there with that comment, because the truth is, this game, I've been watching like some theory videos on it recently, and people going really in depth, much more in depth than I could with this stuff, and it really makes me understand that, holy crap, like there is a lot here that either it's not necessarily that it's not being revealed through the marketing, but it's that it's so scattered and it's so different, and there's just so many different things going on here. It's hard to follow it all, and it's hard to understand it all. So it's understandable that a lot of people are hesitant on this game. But yeah, I think these people who are just like making fun of it, like it's just a, a UPS simulator or whatever, Amazon, FedEx delivery simulator. Like, I mean, they're clearly not interested in the game at all, and there's nothing that Kojima or Sony could show of this game that would get them interested. They just want to make fun of it. So yeah, I agree. Those people probably shouldn't bother with the game. But hopefully if they see really positive review scores, that'll change their mind on that. Somebody else says a 94 is their prediction, which, I mean, man, could you imagine this game getting a 94? That would be fantastic. I don't think other people can tell you how good a game is. I look but never trust until I play myself, and I totally agree with that. This is the type of situation where this is going to be a game where I think most people, if they are sold on it, they're sold on it. They want to give it a try. I do think, though, that there are a lot of people, whether we want to accept it or not, who are going to be looking and waiting to see the review scores and the Metacritic score to determine whether or not this is going to be a game worth dropping $60 on. And if it gets really good review scores, hopefully that'll give people that confidence to jump in and try something new. Somebody else says it's going to be a masterpiece with a lot of depth, so I 100% believe critics will give it a low score. I don't know. I mean, it's hard. Yeah, there are definitely some critics out there who do not know how to appreciate certain things games are doing. We'll see if that ends up happening with this one. Adrian says here, I voted for 80 to 89, but I hope it will get over 90. It looks like a lot of Fortnite kids with ADD are already triggered by this game. Yeah, I mean, it's funny to think that you can tell this is going to be a slower paced game, very, very slow, and a very nuanced game, and because of that, it's going to require a certain attention span to be able to fully immerse yourself and enjoy it. So yeah, and going on just a few more here, it says, gonna play it, gonna love it. I agree with that. While most of you have a lot of blind faith, but I hope you're right. Yeah, I mean, I think most people who are very high up on this game are people who have played the Metal Gear Solid series to some capacity, and that's one of the biggest driving factors as to why they have a lot of faith in this game. At least that's what I'm assuming. And this person says here, and this is the last one I read, James says, this game is too hyped. It's not even out. Remember Black Ops 4 and Fallout 76, those two were overhyped. And I responded to him by saying, I'm sorry, but trying to put Death Stranding on the same level as those two games just doesn't seem fair at all. And, I do agree with this individual that games like Black Ops 4 and Fallout 76 were way too hyped, way more than they deserved. We saw what happened with both of those games. They both combusted, as they should, for obvious reasons, especially Fallout 76, with what Bethesda's doing recently. My God, it's like, how can it get worse? But I do, fully back up what I said there, where I don't think it's fair to put Death Stranding in the same group as games like Black Ops 4 and Fallout 76. I think it's two completely different things. But yeah, overall, guys, it seems that people are expecting very good things when it comes to the review embargo lifting for Death Stranding. A lot of you believe it's going to be in the 90s, and I'm right there with you. I want to say, and this is the last thing I want to say in this video, that I am fully aware that I am putting a lot of faith in this game, especially by making a 93 Metacritic score prediction. I could be completely wrong. This game could end up with a 65 for all I know, but what I will say is that that's not going to deter me or stop me from playing the game. I guess what I'm saying is, because I have so much faith in it, because it is something new, I hope it does well, and I hope that people recognize it and that it doesn't end up being a disappointment, and that a lot of people end up supporting it even further because it gets good review scores. But I will tell you this, I will be here November 1st. We are going to be talking about this. We're going to have a lot of discussion about it, and it's going to be very interesting discussion. But I wanted to take some time here to spotlight you guys, everybody who participated in this poll. Thank you. And I tried to read as many of the comments as I could. I think that this is maybe an interesting video series maybe we could do going forward, where I could do these polls, and if they get enough interaction, enough votes, we could make a video kind of talking about it, going over the results, and really diving deep in what people are saying. So if you did enjoy this video, be sure to not only leave your thoughts down below, but make sure you leave it a like as well. Lets me know you guys enjoy this type of content, and if this is something you would like to continue doing going forward with these polls, definitely leave a like, helps it out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and haven't already. Hit the bell notification icon so you never miss an upload, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.